we have to talk about this hilarious, in my opinion, story about the CBP app. If you remember this, the Biden administration, in an attempt to, I guess, further the infiltration of the country with illegals, created an app, or at least revitalized an app for illegals to register and do all of the floofy stuff that didn't actually end up mattering during the Biden administration. Now, we've all used apps to order food, order a car, order, whatever it is that you want from Amazon. But now, the CBP app, as taken over by the Trump administration, you can, through your phone, self-deport. Yes, the Trump administration has initiated a submit intent to depart the United States of America in an attempt to encourage illegals to, well, exit the country. Now, of course, you might be saying, and our panelists will probably also have some thoughts on this, well, why would anybody do that? Well, there's actually a pretty interesting incentive and disincentive structure. If you do actually self-deport and leave the country, you have the opportunity then to come in the correct way, as you're supposed to do. If you don't self-deport and the Trump administration catches you, the ability to re-enter the country is eliminated for life, in which case you can't come back in ever. So it is a really interesting incentive and disincentive structure and a hilarious repurposing of a Biden administration CBP app. Here to comment on that and more are our fantastic guests, Aaron Wexler, who is an online superstar, conservative commentator, and Chris Hand, host of the Chris Hand Show in the Nashville area, among other places. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Aaron, I want to start with you. I know Chris has some thoughts because we've talked about this offline. Do we think that the illegals are going to actually utilize the app to self-deport? Or what do you think has got to be going through their heads considering this conundrum that they have now put themselves in?
Well, this is obviously brilliant, first of all, from the Trump admin's point of view. It's very Elon Doge-esque to be so efficient. Coming from the tech space, I have a tech background. It's very classic tech to say, let's take this product and just repurpose it. But in terms of, do I think if illegals are going to self-deport, I think we've already seen that they are. We've seen in New York City, a lot of them have cleared out. Here, I'm down in South Florida. It's actually a lot harder to get an Uber these days. My Uber drivers actually tend to speak English now. I think they really are self-deporting. I think they're afraid of Trump. They're afraid of Tom Homan. I don't know if they're afraid of Kristi Noem, but I know they know she's serious. I think they really will be self-deporting.
Yeah, interesting, because I'm not sure, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I don't know if Chris actually agrees. Chris, what do you think? Do you think people actually will self-deport? And I'd love to hear another side of the argument if you've got that. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I mean, if I'm an illegal alien and I'm already here and I went to all this trouble, I'm probably not going to self-deport. I do think, though, that there is going to be a large portion of illegal aliens who are going to self-deport, who do want to live the American dream and don't want to have that taken away from them. It is hilarious that they repurpose this app, though. And I just, for me, my thought process goes to the guy who's on the other side of the border, who's been checking that app every day, waiting to sneak into our country, break into our country. And I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when he first opened that up and saw that everything has changed. Like, oh no, this isn't going to happen the way I thought it was. I do think people will self-deport. I don't know if it's going to be the numbers that we need, but I mean, you could talk to some prominent border reporters. The traffic is really in one way right now, and it's out of the country.
Yeah, I know this is all speculation. I kind of happen to think that more people might actually take advantage of this than we might think, just specifically because the punishment of never being able to immigrate here legally, it seems to be pretty dang severe. So again, I guess it remains to be seen, but overall hilarious move by the administration repurposing this app.